Okay, there it is. We are live. All right, Lions fans, beautiful Monday to you. We are coming in on a Monday talking about the Lions' gutsy victory over the Green Bay Packers, 15-8. Wait a minute, was that right? Was it 15?
15-9.
15-9. Okay, yeah, 15-9 over Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. It was a good gutsy win, and the Lions finally came through with a close victory. As a lot of the analysts were saying, the Lions have got to win one of these close games, and they finally did. What is your overall takeaways from the game before we kind of break everything down, son?
My main overall takeaway from the game is that, man, the defense has been showing up. I think I would say the past 3 weeks now,
Hmm.
and I would say this is really the highlight of it. Honestly, I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers did almost have I don't know what he almost had 300 yards passing, but honestly, I thought the corners locked up for the most part, and especially in the biggest moments of the game, and that's what matters the most.
I would have to agree with you on that. I think that even with Tua, the reason why honestly, I think the reason why these quarterbacks are throwing for a lot of yards is because the Lions are playing a lot of zone. And to be honest, the zone isn't really built to shut down a passing game, just to be honest. Because if a quarterback keeps hitting the soft spots in the zones, if you throw the ball 34, 35 times a game and you keep throwing it 7, 8 yards in the zones, those yards are going to start to add up, you know. And I think that's what it is. What they're really doing is they're trying to take away the deep ball. So I think that's why you see these quarterbacks throwing for so many yards. But I would have to agree with you. The corners overall have been doing a good job. Jerry Jacobs getting back up to speed. Akuda has been doing good. Now I'm not gonna lie, that Lazard dude was really kind of worrying me yesterday because I mean they just couldn't seem to slow him down for some reason.
Yeah, and I guess part of that was Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's not much. I don't know. It's hard for the corners, like when Aaron Rodgers underthrows it like that on those fly routes. It's super hard for a corner to like get back on that. So, but yeah, I agree. Alan Lazard definitely was cooking a little bit. I'm sure he had
Now,
well over 100 yards.
and you are absolutely right about it being Aaron Rodgers because Peyton Manning used to do a lot of the same things. That's why Peyton Manning used to like to practice with his receivers in the off season because he would work on things like that. Hey, on this type of coverage, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit you over the left shoulder, or I'm going to throw it behind the corner. So while his back is turned, he doesn't see it coming. You're going to, take that quick drop step, boom, turn around and catch it over the back shoulder or something. So I do think it has a lot to do with Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, he was cooking a little bit. What was your so speaking of the defense, I want to let me see. I want to share something. I know you and I were talking earlier about about Kirby Joseph, speaking of the defense, but I actually found something. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
And I
wow.
actually was looking up something recently. Now, this was 4 days ago before the Green Bay game, but it was the highest graded NFL rookies at every position on defense. So I did find something interesting in here. We're just scrolling through it. Defensive line. You see Davis, Sam Williams for the Cowboys, but look at linebacker.
Oh yeah, our
Malcolm,
boy.
yeah, Malcolm Rodriguez. I just kind of scanned over this real quick. It says Rodriguez has stepped in right in as a starter for the Lions as a 6th round pick out of Oklahoma State. He's the NFL's highest graded rookie thus far this season. So not only is he passing the eye test, but he's passing the stat test. And I know that Coach Dan Campbell has said on several occasions that this dude does not miss assignments, which is one of the main reasons why he got that starting job. So let's start there. Let's start with the bright spot, the defense. Let's start with the defensive line. Uh, Aiden Hutchinson, I don't he didn't get a sack yesterday, but he did get that huge interception, which was which was a goal line stance, which was huge. And I thought overall the defensive line did pretty decent. The only thing I noticed is I think I said this last week and I say it every week. Whenever the ball is snapped, I always start the running clock in my head. And the Lions always seem to give the quarterback more than 3 seconds. Now, to have a dangerous pass rush, you have to be in the backfield at the quarterback in at least 3 seconds. And when you start giving quarterbacks 5 and 6 seconds, like Aaron Rodgers was getting yesterday, he's gonna find an open receiver down the field. So, what was your thoughts on the D line yesterday?
Yeah, I was gonna say I would pretty much agree with that. I saw Aiden Hutchinson trying to do a signature spin move, but I did notice he does get double teamed pretty much every time. But of course, you might as well double team him if he's the only effective defensive lineman on the line. Because why would you have to worry about anybody else? So I think that's why he's getting so much time. The only lineman who's really dangerous is getting double teamed, and the rest of the guys can be handled one on one. I mean, except for the occasional Barnes, but he's not a linebacker. Or he's not a, he's not a
Yeah,
defensive lineman.
yeah. I'm gonna get to him in a minute because I'm big I'm big on Barnes. The thing about that is that I have to agree with you is that the Lions. I think you and I have talked about this before. Is that the Lions are still, in my opinion, another pass rusher away. Listen, I like all the other guys. I like both the Akora brothers. I like Charles Harris. I like Austin Bryant. But the Lions have to get another guy on the other side who can take those double teams away because you can't double team two defensive ends. So they need to get another guy, maybe even a defensive tackle who can put pressure up the middle that can help Hutchinson out. Because I agree, I have been watching Hutchinson a lot more, and it is true he does get double teamed a little bit more than we were actually giving him credit for.
Yeah.
So now let's speaking of Derek Barnes, let's talk about what we thought about the linebackers. Derek Barnes, I like the pick when they took him 2 years ago out of Purdue, and yesterday they seem to be using him to his strengths. They seem to really want to make Derek Barnes an middle linebacker, but the truth is he's at his best rushing the quarterback. If you look at his highlights when he was at Purdue, and he did it yesterday in that game against the Packers, he's a strong linebacker. He's at his best when he runs directly at an offensive lineman's chest and just overpowers him to get to the quarterback. That's where Derek Barnes is best used at. And I noticed that he got some pressure when they use him in that role instead of trying to make him a traditional middle linebacker. Now, what did you think about the let's say Barnes, Anzalone, Rodriguez? What did you think about the
I'm pretty
linebackers?
sure Rodriguez was doing pretty decent until I don't think he played the whole second half or something like that because of concussion protocol.
I,
Um,
I thought he got back in. Excuse me. I thought he got back in the second half
okay, see, maybe he did. Maybe he did.
when they wrapped his arm up.
Maybe I just didn't notice him for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he I think it was with Akuda on a tackle. I think was it Akuda? Either
No, that was
Akuda or
Akuda and
Will Harris.
Joseph.
Yeah, one of them came flying in and bent his arm. So I
Uh,
think that he did go to the sidelines for a minute, but he went back in the game because he had his arm wrapped up.
but I thought they looked pretty decent. I think the Lions, I noticed against the Packers, they did seem to be playing a little bit more of a man defense. And what I'm wondering is, and this is where the problems start to come. I mean, Aaron Rodgers had 40 yards rushing. So
Right.
I think if the Lions, if they try to play man defense against the Bears, just because I think the Bears receiving core, I mean, their receiving core is even worse than the Packers. I think if they try to play man against them, their linebackers aren't going to be able to keep up with Justin Fields, who just had like Justin Fields had like 270 or not. Yeah, it was him. He had 275 rushing yards yesterday against the Dolphins. I don't know if you heard about that, but he broke Michael Vick's record or something. I have a feeling he can do something like that against the Lions, and if he does, they're going to lose the game. But I know that's a
Yeah,
little off subject, but
no, it's not actually because that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the line about Justin Fields. You mentioned Aaron Rodgers, how he was getting getting around those defensive linemen and
he
those
sauced him up
linebackers.
actually.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be honest. The Lions, Justin Fields is gonna be a problem this week because that's who the
yeah.
Lions have this week in Chicago. He's gonna be a problem because the Bears have finally figured out that the kid is fast. He's big, but he's fast, and we can win games with him using. I mean, look at yesterday. I mean, the Bears were right in there in the game yesterday, and it basically just came down to them not having enough. But the truth is that the Lions, and I hope that Aaron Glenn is working on this. They're gonna have to do something with Justin Fields because The Bears are using him in design runs, not just him taking off if he doesn't see something open on the pass. They're designing runs. And the Lions still have problems with quarterbacks who can run. I mean, listen, on that third, what was it, 3rd and 17, when
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers
yeah,
went down. I mean, come on,
tossed
man.
him
Justin
like he's
Fields
Lamar
is way
Jackson.
faster than that. Thank you. So look at right there.
Gee,
Aaron
that was a
scramble.
different run. That's not
That's a
even
different run.
yeah.
Yeah. That's in the first. I mean, he just went for like 15, 16 yards right there. And that's in the first quarter. The Lions are going to have trouble when it comes to Justin Fields with that. So the linebackers are going to have to adjust. Now, we already mentioned the corners, but let's talk about the corners and the safeties. What did you think about their performance?
Oh man, my boy Deshaun Elliott. I've been hearing his name more and more.
Yes.
He's been. I mean, I feel like he's just been consistent. He's been pretty good out there. Mike Hughes. I don't even. He is playing, right?
Yes, he's
So
playing.
he must have been. I know I said that a few weeks ago too. I think he's still doing pretty good too, just because I don't see him getting burnt out there much. But I know he probably is mainly in the slot. But the main person who really impressed me, and I would say he's probably the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, I would have to give it to Kirby Joseph. I mean, he was all over the place. I mean, he had 10 tackles yesterday, 2 picks, and a pass deflection. That insane pass deflection with Aaron Rodgers, I thought that was a touchdown for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And as you see there's one of his picks right there that we just saw on the screen. Yes, he's definitely coming up big. I have said before that the Lions have to get a ball hawk in the backfield at a ball hawking free safety. And hopefully Kirby Joseph could be that guy. I got to be honest, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see Kirby
Yeah, me
Joseph
either.
being the ball hawkies, but let's hope that he can keep that up and that wasn't like a one game fluke. Let's hope for the rest of the
Yeah.
season, because Tracy Walker's gone for the rest of the season. Let's hope for a one game that wasn't just a one game fluke and that he can do that the rest of the season. That was another big one right there. 2 interceptions at the goal line, and that's the rookie Aiden Hutchinson. I agree with you. I do like Deshaun Elliott. I like Tracy Walker, a lot, but Kirby Joseph is showing that he's also ready to play. So the Lions may have another gem out of that draft other than Malcolm Rodriguez. Now, let's talk about the offense. To me, the problem is that the Lions offense and defense can never seem to play good at the same time. So let's start with the offense. Let's start with the guy right there that just threw the ball, Jared Goff. What did you think about
Yeah.
his performance yesterday?
Man, so people, Lions fans keep talking about we need a new quarterback, we need a new quarterback. But guys, look who he's throwing the ball to. There's nobody out here. Like it's Tom Kennedy, and I don't even know who else. It's Khalif Raymond and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Like he's not throwing
Right,
the ball to anybody that's any good. Like I'm sorry to say it about that. Like Tom Kennedy just came off the practice squad.
right,
So
right.
I mean, I thought he looked as best as he could, in my opinion. That's what I thought. I thought he looked really good some plays, and some plays he looked, just okay. I like that he's stepping up in the pocket more and he's making plays on the run a little bit.
He is. I wish that he was a quarterback who could plays with his make plays with his legs because I think that's
Aaron
what we
Rodgers.
need.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, Derek Brown, my boy Derek. Yeah, Derek Browns did get
Yeah.
a sack. I thought so. I know he got some
Oh,
pressures,
yeah,
but he
two.
did get a sack. Oh, he had 2 sacks.
Well, no, I could be wrong. I thought.
Okay. The Lions, I think, could benefit from. I like Jared Goff, but I still believe that the Lions can benefit from a quarterback who can move with his legs because sometimes, in my opinion, Jared Goff just stays and sits in the pocket way too long. And actually that was good coverage, right? I'm side note, that was good coverage actually by Will Harris. Lazard didn't
Yeah, that
make
was
that catch, but that
incomplete.
was actually good coverage.
Yeah.
Uh, I just think that sometimes it'd be nice to have a quarterback who can take off from the pocket and get you 5 to 7 yards. You know, that's my issues with Jared Goff. And my other issue with Jared Goff is that sometimes he just does not put the ball where it needs to be. Sometimes he throws the ball at the receiver's feet or he throws it behind, like on that catch that Swift caught and he got down to the 1 yard line. I mean, he
Yeah.
really threw it behind him, to be honest. Like he had to turn his whole
Yeah,
body
he did. It
around
was
to
actually him.
even. Is this the play right here? It is right there. Right on.
Yeah.
Dang, that was right on time. See, he had to turn his body to make that catch, instead of him putting it in front of him to let him continue his stride with the ball. But I have to agree with you. Not only do we have to look at who he's throwing to. I mean, there's Zylstra right there. The first career, that was his first career touchdown right there, Zylstra.
Yeah.
And these are the guys that he's throwing the ball to. So we can't deny that. That he needs some better guys to throw the ball to. What about at running back?
Oh, honestly, I thought we looked pretty decent at running back. I mean, Jamal Williams had like 80 yards. I think he's starting to come onto his role a little better. But I mean, and Justin Jackson looked okay. And even Swift, I mean, Swift honestly was probably the most effective running back out of all of them. And he only played, like someone mentioned on Twitter, he played like 16% of snaps. And he literally pretty much had a touchdown right there, like we just saw in the red zone.
Right.
And he did the same thing the week before. So it just shows that we really need him out there. But
it does.
So I think you're, like I said before, I think you're starting to be right. I think the Lions probably do need to find a gem linebacker, somebody like a Kenneth Walker type, or basically somebody like DeAndre Swift who can catch the ball and who can run.
Right. I would agree. I would agree. I think that I like Swift. I was yelling for them to draft him in 2020 in the second round. When we were watching the draft, that's when they went to the second round. I said they need to take DeAndre Swift. That's something that I said. The truth is that he's proven to be a China doll. He's explosive. I'm going all the way back to Javid Best in the early 2000s. The last time we had a real explosive back. The problem was he got injured too much and he couldn't stay on the field. And that's the issue with Swift. I'm gonna be honest. When Swift is in the game, even for the few plays he's played the last 2 to 3 weeks, you can tell the difference. But he's just not in the game enough. Him getting 5 carries is not gonna cut it. We need Swift in there 20, 25 carries.
Yeah, and you really just have to question how he's so hurt. Like,
I know, and not only how is he so hurt, but how he's still hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, how is he still hurt?
And okay, I just want to bring this up real quick. I got really bothered by this. The officiating with this game was absolutely terrible. I mean, I don't know. I was watching the highlights last night, and Allen Lazard took off his helmet in the end zone. You cannot do that. Like, that should have been a 15-yard penalty right there, or I don't know what they do. No, yeah, a 15-yard penalty.
Yeah, it's a penalty.
So I know the Packers didn't convert on that. Did they go for a 2-point conversion?
They tried,
but it's just like still that stuff bothers me. And there was multiple delay of games that the Packers had, and the refs didn't call it. It's almost like they were trying to give them a chance to win the game. But it's fine, I guess.
I counted at least 3. Yeah. I counted at least 3 delay of games that the refs did not call. At least 3. So I agree with you on that. Okay. Oh yeah. So what about the tight ends? What about James Mitchell, our rookie from Virginia Tech, and Zylstra, who caught the touchdown earlier? What did you think about the tight ends? I mean, because Hockenson is gone. As you and I talked about, I wasn't a fan of that. So Hockenson is gone. What did you think about the tight end position?
I mean, honestly, I thought the tight end position was fine. I guess I didn't necessarily see a hole. Like, it's not like I necessarily missed him because the 2 touchdowns were to tight ends, it seems like.
They were.
But, so, yeah. And, I mean, I guess what? Didn't we take James Mitchell in the 3rd or the 4th round or something?
4th round, yes.
So, yes. I guess
he was good in college. He was good.
I still can't justify that trade. It was never a good trade to trade to the Vikings to Justin Jefferson and TJ Hockenson, but whatever.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I thought the tight end position was decent, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe there were Lions fans earlier in the week saying that them trading Hockenson kind of feels like they're telling the players on the team that the season is a wash. So we might as well get ready for 2023. Now these boys didn't come out and play like it, but hey, so back on track. Offensive line. Did you think they did a good job keeping Jared Goff clean? Were they dominant in the run game? What did you think about the O-line?
And I might have to give the O-line like a C. I mean, they did good, but like the Lions almost really their offense did not look that good. Like, if we're being real, their offense didn't look much better than it did last week. Like, they had so many penalties that could have lost them the game. Like, there was at least 2 holding penalties in 1 drive.
Oh, good point.
So I mean, they protected them good, but it's just like when we need to convert, it always seems like there's some. I mean, you can see it right here. It's 2nd and 20. Another flag just got thrown.
Flag
It
right
seems like
there.
there's always something that's going wrong. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Because I don't even think it should have been 15-9. It probably should have been a little worse, but the offense can't do anything.
right. And as good as the defense is playing, the offense has to do their part and get the defense off the field. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And stay on the field to keep drives going where the defense can get some rest and we can wear their defense down, because that's really how you win games. You know, you don't win games. You don't win games with your defense on the field most of the game. Most of the game. Now, what did you think about this call right here? Because I know we talked about this fourth and oh, they didn't show it. Never mind. That was the 4th and 3 that we went for to try to ice the game. There were a lot of people saying that it was the right call because if you get the 3 yards, the game is over. Where my thought process was this: we have Jack Fox, the best punter in the NFL. I understand why you want to go for it on the other teams. I think we were on there 43 or something, but we're talking about Aaron Rodgers. And
Yeah,
we've seen the things he's done. Why not try to coffin corner that bad boy with
yeah.
Jack Fox and maybe get them inside of the 10 and now force Aaron Rodgers to go 93, 94 yards instead of the 55 or whatever it was that they almost went.
I agree. I pretty much said I thought the game was over here when everybody just completed that pass. I was like,
I
wow.
Here we go again, right?
Yeah, I was like, wow. But
Yeah,
yeah, they definitely should have punted it. I mean, because of what just happened right here. Like
right.
they pretty much are. And for Aaron Rodgers, if he's at the 50-yard line, he can throw it to the end zone. Like we've seen it happen.
We
So,
did. That was good coverage right there.
but I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess the call could have went either way.
Yeah, it could. He just threw it up and that was game right there.
Yeah.
And the Lions do it. So it was a good game. It was a hard fought game. It was a game that our boys needed, and they are now 2-6. So that is 2-6, right? Or 2-7?
No, we're 2-6.
2-6. Okay. So that's 8 games. We have 9 to go. So coming up next, we mentioned it earlier this week at Chicago. Give me your thoughts on what you think is going to happen. What's your way early prediction?
Yeah, okay. So the best thing that could happen, the Lions figure out a plan. They either bring down, like they were kind of doing with Tracy Walker and Jalen Hurts, they bring down Kirby or somebody, some safety that's fast, and pretty much you almost have him in a sneaky spy or whatever you can do to keep Justin Fields contained. And I think they can win the game. I mean, I think if they can keep Justin Fields below like 65 yards rushing, I think they'll be okay. I don't know if that's doable, but I think they'll be all right. Just because I don't think the Bears have that many receiving weapons that the Lions can't
They don't.
handle them.
They don't. They did just trade for Claypool from the Steelers, but I,
Uh,
I I agree. I think that our corners can do well against those Bears receivers. What they need to do is there. I watched a little bit of the Ohio State Northwestern game on Saturday, and I noticed and what I noticed is what Northwestern did. Now CJ Stroud is not a running quarterback. He's not known for his legs. But what they did was they kept him in the pocket, and I never seen this before. What Northwestern was doing was they were sliding a lineman out every time Stroud tried to move out of the pocket. And what they did was that lineman, instead of him rushing him, so Stroud could use his legs and get around him, he basically just stayed in front of him and kind of did like a hey kind of thing. He had his
yeah.
hands up and he really just slid. He just really laterally went left to right and kept him in front of him. What that does is it keeps the quarterback in the pocket, which means that somebody else has to get back there to maybe sack him or put the pressure on him. But basically, by keeping a guy in front of him, you keep him in the pocket and you force him to throw the ball down the field. The Lions are going to have to do something like that with Justin Fields because if they don't, I mean, come on, man. I mean, the dude had 178 yards rushing at quarterback. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Those are running back numbers.
Oh, it was 178.
178.
Oh yeah.
So they have to do something to slow him down. I agree. This is what I think. I think that if the Lions can slow down Justin Fields, slow his legs down, I could see the Lions getting another win, but it's going to be another ugly, close game. I'm talking like 20 to 16 type of win. I could see something like that. But the problem, I think, more than that is going to be the offense. The Lions have to find Aaron Glenn finally has these boys playing. I'm going to give Aaron Glenn benefit of the doubt. The last few weeks after the bye, he has had these guys playing. So I think that is going to be on the offense. The offense has to find a way to run the ball, to keep the clock moving, to keep the Bears defense on the field. And remember, they're missing Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn, two of their best defenders. They have to be able to run the ball, run the clock down, and tire the Bears out and keep the Bears offense off the field. That's what I think the key to the game is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And they need to get these wins against the Bears and the Giants so they can go in the Bills game at 4-6 and be second in the division. And I think they can do it.
I agree.
They just got to get some momentum.
Oh, man, I agree. I think if the Lions can finish second, because the Vikings are going to win the division. I mean, the Vikings are going to win it. You know, so the Lions, if they can finish second in front of Green Bay and Chicago, to me, that's an impressive way to end the season. And I think that it gives Dan Campbell some credit that he's the guy, and we can go into this next year. But next year, saying that we're gonna make the playoffs. So that's my prediction. My prediction is a very ugly, close win. The Lions by 3 to 4 points with the win.
Yeah, no, I could see that just because their offense won't be at full power still.
Right, I would agree. So there we go. Well, it was a good game, good win. I still have that Monday morning feeling after a good victory like that, and the Lions did it. So pretty much that's all we have, Lions fans. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so every time we talk Lions football, you can talk it right back with us. Anything else, son?
No, I got nothing else. Let's just hope they can get the win next week.
All right, that's all I got. I'll let y'all later. Peace.